Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support this statement that was raised by Senator Mida. But, Mr. Speaker, we should also not allow Senator Cherargei to mislead the House. Mr. Speaker, we all know that the money that was voted by this House to go to the counties is 385 billion as a shareable revenue, Mr. Speaker. The issue of conditional grant in fuel, from the current 8% to 16%, there will be trickle effect on the common mwananchi, the so-called hustler. It is sad, Mr. Speaker, that we are abandoning hustlers hardly before our first anniversary in office as UDA administration. And, Mr. Speaker, issues of taxation is not something to joke with. Poor taxation measures has brought down governments. Poor taxation measures has brought down governments. Mr. Speaker, we must be conscious about the poor, the people who vote for us. I don't mind, Mr. Speaker, increase of taxation to 35%. In fact, I wish the 3% property tax, the one you want to take away from teachers, can be lumped on MPs so that you pay 38%, so that we can think when we are passing laws touching on taxation. But, Mr. Speaker, to bring a law that is going to increase fuel on border is being insensitive, Mr. Speaker. And as people who have been elected to speak on
what
behalf
is the
of
point
people,
of order, Senator Cherargei?
Mr. Speaker, is it in order for Commissioner, my criminal lawyer defender, during my heydays in trenches fighting for democracy, is it in order, Mr. Speaker, to mislead the House on the House levy fund, yet the Housing Act was passed, Mr. Speaker? And on only 3%, it will be 2,500 matched by the employer, Mr. Speaker, and it is capped. Is it in order to listen more, Mr. Speaker, to WhatsApp gossip as opposed to getting, Mr. Speaker, a substantive issue as the learned senior counsel, Mr. Speaker? And he's the only one in this session, Mr. Speaker. Is it in order to mislead, Mr. Speaker?
Mr. Speaker, I wish Senator Cherargei can be a good student who listens. And you should be a debater who also reads. You should read the 156 pages of the finance bill, and you will see that there is a proposal therein to tax Kenyans 3% in the name of housing tax. It is there. So it's not a matter of gossip. Tax, Mr. Speaker. And I want to tell Senator Cherargei.
What's the point of order, Cherargei?
You know, you can't raise a
understanding order number 105, Mr. Speaker, on the statement of fact. Is it in order for the only learned senior counsel on the House, which we depend on this, to mislead all of us by saying 3% housing levy fund is a tax? Yet it is not, it is a saving, Mr. Speaker, that is paid, Madam Speaker, sorry, that is paid after 7 years, and he should be able, he has advised me to read finance bill, Mr. Speaker. I have read finance bill. In fact, I should be the one teaching him because, Madam Speaker, sorry, because the 3% we are talking about housing levy fund, Madam Speaker, is a saving. It is not a tax. Is it in order to mislead the House as per standing order number 105?
Senior counsel, do you want to respond?
Yes, you know, Madam Speaker, lawyers are normally very poor with the figures. Whether you call it a levy, whether you call it a taxation, the thing is that you are raiding Kenyans' income and taking away 3%. Whether you call it housing levy, whatever you call it, it is still a taxation measure, Mr. Speaker. And I was in Nandi, Mr. Speaker. I want to tell Senator Cherargei to put his ear on the ground.
Madam
Listen
Speaker,
to the
Madam
teachers
Speaker,
in Nandi.
Madam
Speaker, I want Senator Cherargei to put his ear on the ground and listen to the people of Nandi. Listen to the teachers of Nandi. Listen to the border in Nandi. Listen to the hustler in Nandi. They will tell you they don't support these taxation measures, Mr. Speaker. Madam Speaker.
Order, Senator Cherargei. He shall be heard in silence.
Madam Speaker, these taxation proposals are very unpopular with the mwananchi. Madam Speaker, in 2009, the Labour government in Australia came up with such very poor taxation measures, and it cost them. And I want to caution the Wood administration. You're going to be very sensitive with the way you deal with the Kenyans, especially, Madam Speaker, Mr. Speaker, sir, the people are in the low card of income, Mr. Speaker. When we pass any taxation, Mr. Speaker, sir, we must be conscious on how this is going to affect the common mwananchi, Mr. Speaker. So I want to urge the committee to look at this matter keenly, Mr. Speaker. And if this is a matter that affects counties, I don't belong to the school of thought that says that Senate should never look on a finance bill, even when it has laws that concern counties. And in this particular finance bill, Mr. Speaker, there are so many laws that are hidden in there. The Employment Act is there. This thing you are calling housing levy is hidden there. All those are the things that concern counties, Mr. Speaker. And the only way we can reclaim the glory of this House, Mr. Speaker, is to demand, Mr. Speaker, that when we have laws...
Senator Omogeni, would you wish to be informed?
Mr. Speaker, you know, Senator Cherege has been on his feet twice. So on this particular occasion, I wish to disappoint him. I am not willing to be informed by Senator Cherege. So, Mr. Speaker, let us as a House reflect on our mandate. And let us also, Mr. Speaker, look at the history of other Senate houses all over the world. You're going to fight for your space, Mr. Speaker. When the Senate of the US was put in place, they never used to consider taxation laws, but they fought and got that space with time. The same with the Senate in Australia. And Mr. Speaker, we are a unique house because we enjoy direct mandate from the people. Senator Cherage was elected by the people of Nandi, direct, Mr. Speaker. It's not like the House of Lords in UK, where you get an appointment out of recognition of the contribution you have made to your country. As, Mr. Speaker, we have been elected directly by the people. How then, Mr. Speaker, can we be sitting here as a house that prides itself as being the upper house without seizing an opportunity like the one that is before us? And we demand that the finance bill comes before the Senate and we deal with it in a just manner, Mr. Speaker. Because we don't want our people, Mr. Speaker, to be at the mercy of the other house, Mr. Speaker. This is the upper house. We are few. We can debate on issues in a bipartisan manner and make a vote in a manner that does not subject our people to untold suffering. So, Mr. Speaker, I support this statement, and I hope the committee that will be tasked with this work will do justice to it